my stream settings every single time. But if you are watching, thank you everybody for watching, either now or later on the stream. So we're kind of on a roll with getting these male faces done because as soon as this poll ends, I want to start kind of jumping into gear with getting whatever's decided done. So it looks like right now the poll's leading more to the majority to add the faces in. Oh, by the way, I'm here with Orthias as always. Say hi.
Hello.
Sorry.
It's all right.
So going back to what we were saying though, based on the poll, that's what we'll kind of jump and kind of create a plan from there to get things going. But I want to keep going. So I made these faces the other day and I want to kind of get them done today. Well, at least kind of reference and show you getting them done. Now, this is not really like a tutorial type thing. If you've been watching these streams, it's more of just showing what we do behind the scenes so people can better understand the process and how we do things. I think we're almost done. So these Genasi or Genasi, I really don't know how people pronounce that. Like, what's the way to pronounce that?
I say Genasi, but I could be completely wrong because I mispronounce everything.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go with you. You know better than me. So Genasi. It just sounds say that 10 times fast. So we're gonna do some Genasi faces right now, and then we're gonna off camera, off scene, I'm gonna go ahead and use all these same faces for all of the Genasi. Or see, I say Genasi. I keep going because I think of Sega Genesis. Yeah, so we're gonna use these for all the Genasi faces. And I mentioned earlier, by the way, we just create these streams. We're not looking to to what's the word here, to advertise or monetize whatever. But if anybody ever wants to join the chat and join the stream, just hit up Orthias and then you can join on the chat and just talk a bunch of nonsense as we do things or whatever you want to do. If anybody ever does. So
Nonsense,
that being all done, what you I'm going to show you now. Let's just jump right into it. So I have this file. I made this the other day. I think I previewed this on the Discord. And so I have some tiefling faces that I made here. And they're using this tech. Well, it looks weird because you know how that stuff goes. It's just so weird. You know, let me do this. Make it easier. All right. So some of the tiefling faces we have here. Now, I don't want to work on a tiefling yet because I'm still kind of deciding how we want to go about horns in the meantime. And so male tiefling there. And that's a happy one. Why am I... Did I just draw that? How the hell did I do that?
I don't know.
I've never done that before. I know it's the grease pencil. How did I do? Okay, I undid that. I'll figure out how I did that later. It's something to learn. All right, so we're not doing tiefling though. So we're gonna go to the. So here's a collection of all the faces that we made for these races. So we have the elves, and then we have the middle section here is we have the. Let me make this bigger. We have the tiefling. All right. And then for the bottom, I created these for the Genasi. Good Genasi. And these are the ones we're going to use today. So let's go ahead and take a pick. Which one do we want to use? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I already baked the maps. So yesterday, you may have, if you watched my yesterday stream, I showed you how I went through and I use this. What I do is after I create all the faces, I duplicate them. I take out the eyeballs because I want to bake the shadow around the irises and around the eyelids and stuff like that. And you can't have the eyeballs in because it causes interference with the bake. So what I do here is I duplicate all of them. I line them up like this and I put them as a high res. So these are really high res. These are like high poly. Well, they have modifiers on right now, I think. Yeah, so they're using modifiers, so you can't see how high poly they are. They're actually higher than that. And that's so I can get a good bake. And so what I do is I take these into Substance Painter, and then I bake like all the shadows into the face. And then with those maps, we apply them on over the diffuse map to get like some sort of like inner shadow, some depth to the face that helps keep it... the face, like the shadows like here, all within intact when we put the face in, so it looks more realistic. It's a way of trying to work in the system to get some realistic shadows without having to render shadows from the game engine, because shadows can take up a lot of RAM. And so just like normal maps, it's an easy way to kind of like fake depth. So we're going to be working with these ones today. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one should we work on? do you think? 1, 2, 3,
Um,
4, 5. I like 3 and 5. Oh, I like 2, 3, and 5.
I'm leaning more towards. Well, this is for the Genasi. Let's go with 3
3 right here. All right,
or
so we're gonna go
5.
with or 5. Okay, we'll go with 5. I like 5. 5 looks really serious. His little, a little smirk.
Yeah, let's go
All right.
5.
All right, so we're gonna turn off the high res and go into our collection here of the Genasi. See, it's stuck in my head now. I can't unsay it. So the Genasi, and we're gonna go to Genasi 5. So turn off 4, 3, 2, 1, and keep 5 on there. Why isn't 5 showing? Oh, I think it's on hide. So Alt H. There we go. And then let me go ahead and turn off all of these. And so this is the one we're gonna do today. I think I already have the UVs already set. So we're good to go on that. It's gonna make us go, it's gonna help us go a lot faster. And what we're gonna do here is it's pretty much we just have to line it up to the male head. So I haven't done that yet. So what I'm gonna do is create a new collection here. I'm gonna call this male vanilla head, or chocolate if you prefer, vanilla head. And then we're going to go ahead and go to file, imports, Neverwinter Nights 2. By the way, and if there's any questions or anything I'm skipping, Vanny, just let me know. That way I can, because I know at the same time you have you do Blender stuff too and stuff like that, and sometimes I work a little too fast. So if there's anything that you feel like I skip or I missed or anything like that, just let me know, because I forget a lot too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and load in that vanilla head, which is under my documents here. At this point, like, everybody kind of has seen, like, if you've been watching my streams, you know exactly everything I have on my computer. You're like, what is that? So let's see, brush sets. I have Baldur's Gate modding tools, Ableton for audio, Audacity for audio. Like, you don't need to know all this stuff. All right, look at Overwatch. See, I play shooter games. All right, so let's see. What am I? Okay, vanilla HHM. That's the one. I should just bookmark this. So I'm gonna click that right here and bookmark it. No, that's documents. I don't want to bookmark documents. Vanilla HHM. There. Now I can just click that. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load up the male head. And if you've seen this process, you're probably tired of seeing it. Done it a lot. I also want to look into creating LODs, because AOS brought that up the other day about wanting LODs. And did I delete the wrong thing? Yeah. And it's not a bad idea. And so maybe we'll create a LOD and to kind of like, show how to do that. I don't think I've ever done that really, or showed how to do that, but there's different ways to create LODs. I also want to do something about creating a placeable. Now, I created a placeable tutorial before. Placeables are a lot easier than this. It's like you can find any object, take it from any game, and make it into something you can put in the tool set, and then from the tool set put it into the game. Doesn't require rigging or anything like that. It's just slap it down. There's a process to it. It's fairly easy the way I explain it, but it's a lot. I want to say it's about twice is 3 times easier than doing this stuff. So it doesn't really require a lot of knowledge about rigging and stuff like that. And hello, Shadow, welcome. So I want to eventually do that too, but right now, because we're on this like sort of end game thing of getting to the end game with this content, these faces, that's what we're going to focus on. I think I already lined it up. Looks like it's lined up. Did I already do that? The stuff I do when I don't pay attention.
Apparently.
I think so. Let me check. This is how I know. Is this one lined up? Oh, so I already lined up all the faces. Whoa, kudos to me. Well, that saves us in the process. So all we gotta do now is simply just grab the face, transfer the weights, move it all over to game. And that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and let me know. Maybe I did weight them. Let me double check. Because if I did that too, that's even better. Let's see. Wait. Wireframe. No. No dice. No dice. No dice. No. That's fine. I suck. I can't believe this. It says game over. All right, so let's grab this face. Okay, so I gotta clean up the male face first. So if you're ever making faces for yourself, you're like, I'm bored, I'm gonna make a face, and you find yourself in this predicament for some reason, I'm gonna show you what to do. So when you import a male head, because it's so low poly, you're gonna see all these little poly count here. Click. Why aren't you clicking? Oh, click it out of that. and it's like really low there. So to fix that issue, first thing what you always want to do is you always want to work in quads. So if you're working in tris when modeling, and that's what we're doing modeling, because if you're modeling the face, you always want to work in quads. Tris is only for video game production. Quads is for modeling. So it's always recommended to jump into quads when you're modeling. So, and then don't worry about going into tris. The plugin that we use for this automatically does that, but it just for, good practice, you may want to convert to tris before you export. If you ever find yourself making, your own face or anything like that. You never know. All right. So to go to quads, what I'm going to do, and tris are pretty much how you see everything's in tris, and video games only render in tris. All right. So we're going to hit Alt J, and that's going to bring up the quads, the tris to quads, and you're going to see how, well, sometimes you won't see this, and you will. Your UVs will get messed up unless you start highlighting these bad boys. Really, you just need to hit compare UVs, but I make it a habit just to go through and select all of those, and that will ensure that your UV maps and everything stay the same, and that your seams stay intact and everything like that, because it is converting the geometry or the UVs a bit. All right. So now that we're working in quads, we're going to go ahead and click the head and then hit Control 1, and it's going to smooth out, because what we did is we added one subdivision. One subdivision means it went through and it kind of like recalculated the head and added more poly count in there. That poly count is going to allow us a more smoother head. If you see this line, it's not a big deal, but if you want to get rid of it, all you got to do is go to mesh, go to cleanup, and then hit merge by distance, and it gets rid of those little vertices that are on top of each other stacked, which is causing that little line. There we go, just like that. And what I'm going to do is, after I do that multiplier, it's right here, I did one subdivision, I'm going to go ahead and apply it. And so now see how it's like twice the poly count and it's smoother. And that's also how you up the poly count, up the quality of a low poly head, or even if it's a sword, outfit, whatever. That's a good way to double the poly and get it more smoother. And the higher poly you have, the more your textures reflect on it. So if this was like a super high poly head, your spec maps and your normal maps are going to be that much more refined as well, because the poly count affects that. Okay. So with that being done, what I want to do is I'm going to come in here, going to go into my weight paints, wireframe, and then we do not need all of this. So these are all the bones that are for like the cutscene animations when you're doing like a single player campaign, and they're like moving their mouth as they talk. They don't do that, but something like that. That's these called F bones, facial bones. That's what the F stands for. We're going to go ahead and delete all those, because I don't need all those, because we're not creating characters for a campaign with the cutscene. If you are, then I'm not showing how to do that this time around. I mean, not that. It's a process. All right. So we're going to delete all the F, and then the eyelids we're going to delete and just keep these three. You may have seen me do this in the past. All right. So sorry. A disclaimer again, I have a bad back, so I have like a bad shoulder problem, so if I do this a lot, so I'm not squirming, I don't have to go pee or anything like that. It's just my lower back, it hurts sometimes, which is why I got this special seat. No, seriously, because and I used to do this
I know, I just love you explaining all this.
Remember I used to do this a lot, and I'm like, I swear I'm not doing cocaine, guys. Like for some reason, like like I'm not, like, it was a habit. I stopped doing it, but I used to always go like my note. I'm like, oh my god, they probably think this dude's all cooked. I'm like, hey guys, today we're gonna do, no. I'm like, I'm cool, I swear. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, and what I want to do is see because I erased the chin bone, the facial bone. What happened now is we have this right here and nothing's assigned to it, so that's why I always fill that area in. That's why I go here, because if we look at rib cage, it covers this area. When we go to neck, it covers up to here, and we go to head, it covers all of this, but nothing's covering the chin because we deleted that. So if we were to transfer these weights over to our new face, it's going to transfer, and all of our faces, the chins are going to go to the ground. You may have seen that in some of these models of mine that I put in the past, where you got like a big ass line just going straight to the center of the map.
We have one in there currently. Yeah.
And we do that on purpose because we want to show you guys how to fix that later. See, it's all part of a bigger plan. Yeah. All right.
So you ask the important questions.
Yes. We're just waiting for someone to call it out, so we can be like, it's a good thing you asked. All right. So we're going to go to weight gradient, and I'm just going to put this on radial, because if we do linear, what happens is we can come in, but what's happening is it comes here. So if we do it like this, you can do it like that if you like, but usually I just like going to radial. And I just kind of draw it in on a circular basis here and just kind of like get it in there. And that's fine. So now we have everything covered. And now that that's done, we can come back out to object mode on solid. And then what we want to do is, since I already have these lined up, all you got to do, and I can do all of them at once if I choose, but I'm not. I don't know why I even showed you that. Okay, so here's the face that we're going to work on. And this is going to be a Fire Genasi face. Okay. I don't know. What do you think? Should it have sharper ears? I mean, I don't really know like how people like their Genesee because I've seen different types. Should we sharpen the ears maybe? Or I don't know. Like,
think so. I don't think so. Let me grab my source book. I have to get out of my chair.
I mean, we can. I'd rather just do it now. I mean, we can do it in post or afterwards, but
yeah, I don't think they have sharp ears. I think basically it's their skin texture that's the biggest.
All right. Okay, so skin texture, and I think we got one that's like all rock. I just gotta find it, but if not, we can go into Substance Painter and create one. All right, but if anybody sees this later, if you watch this and you really think it should have sharp ears, or you want one or two with like some crazy ears, send me a picture on Discord, and then tell me that's the kind of ears you like. Now, don't do it if you're not gonna ever play a Genasi. Don't be the guy that's like, do this, and that, and you're like, oh, I don't play them. I don't play elves, you know. So I get that sometimes. Like, hey, can you put this cool outfit in? I'm like, and then they never use it, and it's like, I won't get that, 3 hours back. All right. And it sucks too, because sometimes you put in, this is my rant. This is, what grinds my gears? No, is that you?
Yeah, no, I get it.
These outfits, you have all these outfits. You're like, yeah, like you get like 20 outfits in, and then everybody like uses the one. There's like a favorite, and then there's like a second favorite, and then there's like everything else. It's okay. I'm not upset about it because I'm like, you had it. I'm glad there's one than none, but. It's just funny. That's why I want to make these newer outfits as good as possible. Because it's like, I want you to like go through these outfits and then like be so upset at me because you're like, freak. I don't want to swear on Twitch. Like, darn it, Jude. Like, doggone it. You made all these outfits so awesome that I can't decide on which one. And then I just snicker in the background because I'm like, it's part of my internal plot to make your life a living hell. All right. So let's go ahead and... What we're going to do now, she's like, just hurry up and do your stuff. All right. So we're going to go to object mode. We're going to select our old head and then select our new head. And then we're going to go into weight paint mode. Notice there's no vertices, no groups here on our new head. What we're going to do is going to copy them over from old head. As long as the two objects are aligned, one is aligned with the other, it should find good. It shoots rays out and it shoots it back in, and it'll like, if it's like, let's say it's red right here, and the other face, it'll shoot rays out and rays back in, and then it will paint that for you, automatically transfer those weights off based off the proximity and area it's at. Plus, it has the algorithm within it also, it knows what it's looking for based off the normals. Normals are basically every face has a little needle pointing out, telling you which way it's really facing, even though like sometimes they point out, some might be pointing in and stuff like that. Okay, so we can do like, so Shadow says a mix.
A mix of both, yeah.
Yeah,
looking at the source. The source book, they're all illustrated with pointy ears, but it's not written in any of the descriptions. They mainly mention the texture of the skin and the difference of the hair. So we can give them a little point.
The point's probably easy to make at this point. I just wanted to make sure when I kick them out of Daz. So we can do the point afterwards. Let's just transfer these weights and then we can kind of discuss. I think like maybe something unique, like coming upward or maybe like that, we'll figure that out.
Yeah. I know for the water ones, we were doing a little bit of a fishy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do that right after Shadow. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. So we'll go into weight paint. Let me undo what I was doing. Okay. So select this face, select our new face, go into weight paint and go into wireframe. You don't have to go into wireframe. I just do it anyway. And then you're going to go to transfer weights under the weight tab here, transfer weights. And of course you may have seen me do this a bajillion times. I'm just going to go to nearest face, interpolate. That's the one you want to use. Don't use any of these. You want to use this one right here. And then you're going to go to by name. And that's automatically going to transfer everyone by name. And so pretty much since the two faces are aligned, we transfer those weights over and copy them over. That's also how we do outfits too, by the way. You just bring in your outfit, line it up in the A pose as the old one, transfer it over, and you don't have to weight your outfit manually. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and click this little icon here that takes us out of our mode, which is currently weight paint. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to go into solid mode. I'm going to turn that head off, not delete. Okay, and by the way, I think the water Genasi have like a double flap, like a kind of like a finny type ear, I think. And I think that's what
that's what we ended up doing. Yeah.
So what we do is we pull this out and then we push this in, and that kind of gives it like this little double flap. So we'll get something like that. And that's the one thing that we can see my back's hurting again. That's the one thing that we can do in post, because these faces, I don't want to make 5 for each one because that will burn me out. I want to do these 5 and then use the same 5 for all the Genasi. But I did want to kind of have them exclusive. That's why I created 5 Genasi faces that males don't have, because males are going to have their own. Elves are going to share with males, but kind of have elven features. And dwarves are going to share with males. So are the Gnomies. Those are going to be like kind of human, but they're going to be morphed a little bit. We'll get to that later. And we might make some in Daz, because Daz has some really cool gnomish looking faces and stuff that you can do in there. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm only doing the males right now because I focused a lot on the females, and females have 40 faces.
Males need love
and ASMR and stuff like that. So yeah,
males need love.
But it's saying the same thing. It's like all these faces and everybody settles on the one, I'm just complaining. Don't listen to me. All right. So now that that's done, we're pretty much done. Because what I want to do is normally I do all of like the pre-prep in this blend file. And then now that we got the weights done, what we're going to do is I can come through here and I'm going to go ahead and I'll do this. Should I do it now? Because everything's already UV'd. So what I want to do is I want to assign everything to 2 materials, the head and the eyes only. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select just the eyeballs. And I'm going to go to right here. I'm just going to name this eyes. Okay. And I'm going to keep this one called head. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these. So I'm going to come in here and just have 2 materials only. It doesn't matter what's on them. It's just we need to have something to kind of yeah, the males do need more love. More love for the males. Okay, and we are going to what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought when I come back around to it. So the eyes, what we want to do is we want to click this right here and assign this to the eyes, because later we're going to separate by material. So this is kind of like creating subcategories and telling the blender, like we're just kind of creating place savers. So when we separate these 2, we're going to say separate the head and the eyes. We're going to know what's what. All right. And so we select the eyes. Not that. That's an eye. That's an eyelash. Okay. Eyes. We're going to assign it to the eyes, and then we're going to hit Control I to select the invert, or just I, or not, or maybe, or I'm hitting Alt I. My bad. Control I selects invert, and for the rest, I'm going to put that to the head and assign it. So now when I come out of here, out of edit mode, or I go into it and I put head and I just put select, it's going to select all of the head. Or if I go to the eyes, it'll select the eyes. And the reason I'm doing that is because in the next phase, what we're going to do is when we're getting ready to export this, we're going to use those 2 things. You'll see what I mean. I'll explain it. I my mind, I'm like, no, I can't explain it proper, but you'll see what I mean. All right. So now that that's done, what we want to do is memorize the head here. The name is Gen 5006. The reason I say that is because we're going to pluck it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click save, and I'm going to open up a new blend file. All right. And while that's loading, we're going to go to our sponsor. Vanny, who do we have today?
We have Crystal Light today. No. That just happens to be what I'm drinking.
We started off with
Kool-Aid. It's good.
Well, we didn't even start off with Kool-Aid. We started off with Flavor Aid. That's like the knockoff version of Kool-Aid. Have you ever had Flavor Aid, or is that like local for me only? Because like we didn't, because I mean when I grew up we didn't have Kool-Aid. Like we would say Kool-Aid, but really it's called Flavor Aid, which is like the knock up, like the cheap version.
We had that too.
Yeah,
I don't know. Mom would wait for like the 10 cents Kool-Aid pack sale where she could buy 10 for. Yeah, it was insane. 10 for $1.
Man, now I'm like, you can't get me to drink Kool-Aid. I'm like, oh, that's sugar. And it's funny because when you're a kid, sugar. You're like, I don't give a, and then now you're like, I'm like, does that have sugar in it? How much sugar? Nah, I can't do it. File.
We had Kool-Aid and the garden hose every summer.
Whatever works, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're gonna go to file on this new blend file, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna import the head again from scratch because this is gonna be our import export. So the other one was like kind of like our staging area. This is gonna be imported. So we're gonna go to file, import, and we're gonna go to Neverwinter Nights 2, and we're gonna go to I had to bookmark this, and we're gonna go to that head. Now, mind you that I went ahead and, like I always do, I went and weighted it to the human head and not the Genasi head. And if my memory serves me right, they're about the same because they share the same bone. It doesn't matter. So in this case, we're good. One thing I learned is that when you're making Alvin faces, do not use the male head because I made one and he looked creepy as fuck. Like I gotta redo this one. It was really weird. I was like, oh, lesson learned. And it's just, I haven't done this in a while, so you kind of learn as you go again. So we're gonna load in the human head. All right. And the beauty of it is if we want to make this into humans, all we gotta do is just fix the ears. Or maybe he's just like a weird human. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit shift, turn off the calls. I'm gonna turn off the skeleton and do some face cleanup. We want to get rid of our LODs. Delete that one, delete that one, delete that one, and that one, and that one. We're going to keep the head and the eye because if you remember correctly, over here at this one, we have a head and eye. So those two things are going to take over. All right. So got the name memorized. And the reason why I want to memorize that is because coming over here, I'm going to go ahead and click. Actually, I'm just going to keep it in this collection. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to this little bad boy here called Append. What Append does, it allows you to pull something from another blend file into this blend file. So I can go through and pull out whatever I have in that one. What I want to pull out is that face. I'm going to go to Append. I'm going to go to that area, this blend file, which is this one right here. And I'm going to go to Object. And remember the object name was Gen5006. I'm going to append it, which means it's going to pull it from one file to this one. And I just did that. So as you can see, I'm working like in a more cleaner structure. This is like all staging. This is where you do all the dirty work. Here is just where it's all clean stuff. Now, I already have material settings set for these faces. And I'm going to use those ones. So in order for me to use them, I can do it manually. I can come through here and go to this here and set the material settings by going to mesh and set them myself. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a trick that I've been using for a while now, where I'm going to go ahead and import another collection, and I'm going to import an already done head and use those to transfer over to this new one. If you don't, it may seem confusing, so just I won't really explain much. I'll just kind of do it. I'm going to File, import one of my done faces already. Not Michael Dunn faces, but Dunn faces. Oh, not Day. I remember when Day saw this and he was like, wait, there's a file source called Day? Yeah, all right, so Neverwinter Nights 2. We're going to go to one of our done faces here. Those are all orcs. Let's go ahead and import just our regular human face here. Okay, just a human head. And I'm going to just do some cleanup, delete the calls because this is only temporary. And this is our human head. I'm going to actually delete that. No, I'm going to keep it there for now. So this human head is already done. And it's a temporary, I think. And so what I want to do is I don't need this. I just want to take, this already has, see how it has all this stuff already set, the tint map applied to it. It has the right settings and the right colors. That's what I want. So in order for me to get this transferred to the other one, there's no copy paste function. I got to merge the two and then delete the old stuff or delete this head. So what I'm going to do now is with this head, turn this new one off. With this one that we're making here, I'm going to turn that off too. And that. So with this one, I'm going to go ahead and select everything. Now, if you remember earlier, we have two materials. So I'm going to put P to separate them by material. So one of them is now separated by those material. One's the eyes and one's the mesh. And so what I'm going to do to copy this transfer these, to transfer this stuff over, like the settings, I'm going to have to merge the two. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this one and then I'm going to click my head. So this one and then shift click and then, or control click and hit Control J to join. Now everything's merged together and that's freaky. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. Now, if we look at our material, It's all here. Actually, it's the other way around. Let me undo that. That's my bad. I have to merge this into this one because this is the one. Oops. This is the one that I'm going to take the materials from. And so now that our head is merged into this head, we now have everything set on the same material. And what we're going to go through now is we're going to go ahead and select the old head, the one that we took the materials from, and just get rid of it. And so I'm going to hit select. It's going to select everything off that head and hit X to delete all the vertices. And now our head still retains all of this stuff. So it's like we merged the two to make them. Is that making sense? We merged the two to still its properties to make sure the properties are on both now. And then we got rid of what we didn't need no more, which is the old head. All right. But what we want to do now is I'm going to go ahead, and because this is using the same UV space as that original head, what I can do is I can go through, and I'm going to show you what I mean right now. So if I go here, it's because the UVs aren't aligned properly, but since it's using the old head, I can delete that, and it's now taking that the map from it's already done. You know, it's that's just the map from the old head that we just stole because it's using the same material. I just got to rename this. That might be confusing, so I'll just shut up about that one. Let me do the same thing for the eyes now. I'm going to grab these ones, merge them into that one, and then I'm going to select the material of the old eyes, get rid of them, and then I'm going to delete that. All right. The reason why this is purple is because the texture has to be in the same folder as the model when you open it up. It's not. It's in a different folder, but that's fine. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and delete this skeleton. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's see. This right here, I've got to change. So what we're going to do now is overwrite this face. So first, let's name our meshes. What is it? What is Fire Genasi? Is HFM? I believe it's PH.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. HFM, right? HFF is for female fire. Yeah, I think it's
fire.
HFM.
HF.
Yeah. Okay, HF.
So it'd be HFM.
P for player, character, or playable, or person. I don't know what the P actually means, but H for
playable.
Yeah, playable. HF for fire. That's Fire Genasi.
Human for fire. Human. Yeah.
Yeah. M for male. I'm sorry. So Fire Genasi male head, and then the number, the slot 1. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, and you got to make sure your material matches the object name, or else it won't render. And then you got to go to this little mesh data here, and you got to make sure that this name is also copied here as well. All right. Once you have that done, I'm going to turn off this head. All right. And then we're going to do the same thing for the eye. We're just going to name it here. Same thing. Oops. I'm going to name this P _HFM for Fire Genasi male. The eye always has to match the number. So if this was head 200, it had to say I 200. All right. And so this same thing, copy this and then paste it here and then come back and paste it here. All right. So on our way. Now that that's done, what we got to do is delete this and delete that. And we still have the skeleton, and we're going to bind these to the skeleton now. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and shift click the head, and then shift click the eyes, and then lastly shift click the skeleton. So you'll notice that the head and the eyes now have a red outline, and the skeleton has an orange outline, which means the skeleton was selected last. It's very important because we're going to merge these two, but it only merges into whatever was selected last. And that means the head and the eyes are going to merge into the skeleton. So we're going to do that by hitting Control P, and we're going to parent it to the object. And if you look here now, I'll undo that. They're outside the skeleton, and when we parent it to the object, now they're inside the skeleton. So the skeleton is technically in control of this two objects now, of the head and the eyes, which is important because when we play the game, it's got to have a rig. So we essentially tied these meshes to the skeleton rig. All right. And so what we're going to do now is come over here to this little wrench, and we just have to make sure that we have this tied to the object. So just click object and tie it to that skeleton. I'm going to hit Control C. It's faster that way. Control V. And I'm just going to hit Control V again to paste it into here and paste it into there. And now what we have here is a this thing applied. So if I were to come in here to this rig and go into pose mode, for example, and if I grab the head here and I rotate, well, that's the facial bone. So let me see. Which one's the head? None of these actually will work. So if I were to grab like the neck, see how I'm doing that? So now we have a, you know, so essentially what we did is we tied it to the bone. So now when it's in game, whatever animations this human, which is pretty much all the animations we make, it's now going to be able to rotate the head and stuff like that. So now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and I think export. I think that's it. So I am going to create a map separate for this because we are going to create a Genasi map today, or Genasi. Yeah, I said that right? Yeah. And we are going to do that, and we want to create something cool and unique. I just got to double check and see if I have one right quick. So if I were going to override, I think I have one. I think it's H. Let me see, Genasi. See, here's a map that I made for a female Genasi. Open up Photoshop, but I could have swear I had one that's like a, so that's what it looks like, the female one. It has like this darkness on the back because that's how the maps look, but I realized that means it won't tint well when it comes to our outfits because our outfits aren't really, they're basically made after how human maps are made. Yeah, and so I think let me just double check if I have a Genasi normal map. Hair texture, that's the fire hair texture. Eyes, and let's see, HTF head 2. I don't know what that is. That might be the template I made for it. Sorry guys, just 1 second while I get through this right quick. HTF head 2. I could have sworn Fire Genasi had their own diffuse. So there's a hair texture. Well, Fire Genasi don't really need one, do they? Because it's just really darkened skin. Should they have a normal map, their own personal normal map? I think. I don't know. Here's this one right here. So this is what I created for Fire Genasi. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like nothing special really. It's the female version. But if we want, we can create something unique for them, like maybe some charred, burnt skin. I don't know.
Yeah, because it does say that they have charred kind of.
Okay, so we have to probably
skin.
create that in Substance, I think. I'm trying to think what will
probably
cover that in Substance though. All right, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, because I want to give this a good bake, because even though this is using, see the map that is baked for a different head, it's not really baked for this one. And so I'm for the sake of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this map over. So if I come back to textures here, and I think it's map, it's head 7, this one right here. Hit Control C, Control V. I'm going to change this to head 1 and change this to, oops. Come over here and change this to HFM, Jude HFM, head 1. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and tie that to this face here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm setting up a template to create our Genasi texture. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Shader Editor. I'm going to change it out right here. This is pretty much, this tells the material what's the diffuse map and what's the normal map, or the alpha map, alpha channel, and which one is the normal map. Okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to change it out to that HFM. So that's PHFM. Let's go to Jude H. Maybe I don't see it. Oh, it's here in textures. Okay, HFM head 1. It's the same face, but there's a reason why I wanted to separate it from the original. All right. And then I don't need the alpha channel information in there. That's fine. The normal map can stay the same. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to export this and try it out in game, and then we'll make the edits to the face real time. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just leave all this like this. I'm going to copy this name over. I'm going to go to File, Export. I'm going to click Neverwinter Nights 2. And then I'm going to go to my emergency elves where I have all my new faces. And it's not GR2. Go to File, Export, MDB. And then go to my emergency elves. And then export. And then what's going to happen is it's going to take a second or two to export. And then I'm going to just kind of zoom in. And I zoomed, but right now nothing's going to happen. My hands are up. So you're going to see it move. And that's how I know it's done. See, it's done. And then if you see a red line come up down here, it means you got an error. And usually there's a log file that imports that tells you what you got wrong. But we're good. All right. So let's go ahead and go into game now. And let's see what that looks like. All right. So let's load that up. I mean, we know what it's going to look like. It's going to look exactly like that. Okay.
No.
Did we get somebody?
Yeah, we have Nigel in here.
All right, Mr. Blackhawk. All right, so let's go to new game, new module. And let's go ahead and go to create character. And if I didn't do anything wrong, it should not crash the game. So I'm going to go to plain touched, male. And there it is right there. So don't worry about the hair, the vanilla hairs, because like I said, we're getting males. We'll probably get new hairs too for these right here. They have a cool texture. That's sort of like the little fire. That's always fixable though, so we can fix that. So I'm going to go to next and then just choose Fire Genasi. Zoom in a little bit. I don't like ever previewing this bright light texture. I think Fire Genasi really have dark, like a darkened skin, right? Like really, really dark. I really can't find that the right color. So this is pretty much our Fire Genasi. What kind of hair do we have here? Let's do this one. And then let's do our eyes. We have to set up our eyes, but normally their eyes would be like fire, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe give them a different eye set. We can do that. I know it looks very human right now, so we're gonna really mess this up a little bit, or not mess it up. We're gonna give it some artistic taste or value. First thing I notice is my eyelashes are inverted. So a quick fix to that is I'm gonna quickly come back in here, and I'm gonna fix that, because what happens is when you're making this from DAZ, these eyes, these normals are backwards actually. So if I were to show my back face, see how they go invisible, is because these are all facing the other direction. So a slow way of doing that is by selecting each one, but that gets confusing. Or I can just go over here to UV selector, select everything, and I know these are the outer limbs and these are the outer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select these like this. But I'm going to put, actually I'm going to deselect everything. I'm going to make sure I have UV selection tool on, and by face. This allows me to select, by selecting through the UV, I select the mesh too. See, it's selecting them. And I'm going to kind of draw on these ones too, just a little bit. And I'm going to hit Control Alt, select all the linked. And then what I'm going to do is go to Mesh, Normals, Flip. And now they're facing the right way. So if I want to now, I can go back to File, Export, Neverwinter Nights 2 again. And just override that one, give it a second, and then now in game the eyebrows should be the right way. I'm kind of curious what kind of eye to give them, like fire in the eye or some. I can give them the same orc eyes I did yesterday for the orcs, the demon eyes, but I'm like, that's really outplayed, you know. So
yeah,
that should be
I don't
done.
think that's the right way to go.
Yeah, because their eyes here are like really small pupils and like, you know.
Yeah, pulling out my book again.
So now they're showing, and let's go ahead and add some eyebrows now. Check this out. Let's go ahead and go to File, Texture.
How about do the eyes almost like a coal ember, like in a grill, like, you know, how they kind of like that weird glow to them.
Yeah, so we can do a glow
like
map
a pupil.
for them. Yeah, so I got an idea. So let's do this. So let me go ahead and let's load up the eyes first. So this is the eye texture, right? grab X. I'm gonna move it on back over to the front here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Which
load
says
that
eyes
texture
glow when they're angry.
in. Ooh, are they always angry?
Mm.
I think Ink was the one telling me one time how Earth Genasi are like really, really racist. All right, so tool. What am I doing? Oh, okay. I'm gonna go select this image here. I'm gonna find my eye. To do that, I'm gonna go to this little folder, and then I'm gonna go to I think it's under Daz Face Pack, generic eye. All right. So and I actually have to do that not through there. I gotta do it through the shader editor. This is just a one-time thing because once I got this setting down, it's always down. So I'm gonna have to relink this right quick to where it was at. There. So this is what it looks like right now. So a little trick, and this is what I do for some of these races, is oh, that's true for all Genasi then. I imagine. I some people are really
It says, but Fire Genasi, it says they're hot-blooded and quick to anger, proud and unafraid to take action. They're most often neutral and appear mostly human with one or two unusual traits reflecting their quasi-elemental nature, such as the skin color of burnt coal, red hair, and waves of flame. Eyes glow when they're angry.
Okay, so what we can do is we can make a halo glow. But right now, if I turn this UV up around this eye, it makes the eye get smaller. If I turn it down, it makes the eye get bigger. So that's a little trick to make kind of like different eyes for different races. You know, because, and then what I can do now is I can go ahead and come in here or select by vertice, right? And then expand that a little bit. And what I can do is turn on this by connected. And I can scale. And I can make the pupils bigger or smaller. But I think I'm not selecting
Earth
correctly, am I?
Earth ones, their eyes are just like black pits.
So if I do that instead, and let me zoom in here so you can see what I'm doing here. And if I scale, I can make the irises big. I can give them really, really big pupils like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just a thought. What do you think? Bigger pupils? Because the pupils look pretty big here, you know, like when I see the originals.
Yeah.
Right? And then we can give them a halo glow. And I think there's already a map with the halo glow. So we'll try to apply that and see what happens here. All right. So before we continue, what I want to do now, because I created a texture already called HHFM, I'm going to open that up. This is what it's using right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a vanilla template. So this is a vanilla template, I believe. That's just a vanilla face. All right. And what I'm going to do with this template, I'm going to go ahead and mask out this bottom here. Oops, not like that. I'm going to make a mask, hit M, and just kind of mask out that area. Just cut it out. That way we save this because we're going to need this later. And so this is our vanilla template. So if I were to come down here and hit save and then put this on BC3, that's the type of compression we need to use for this game. Always BC3 and save. And then when I come back in here, right, and I go back to the head and I refresh this texture. Because remember, this was made for a different face. So the shadows are not actually, even though they look realistic, they're not really meant for this face. There's a reason why we baked the shadow maps. So we're going to go to shader editor. This is the material settings. And we're going to reload this texture. So we're going to reload the HFM. Oh no, it's under HFM textures. This one right here. And see, now it's plain, which is fine. It's what we want. It's something plain. And then we're going to put our baked texture over it. Now, I baked these the other day. And it's called, if you remember correctly, it was called GE6, I think. So Gen 5. So this is the Gen 5 map. It's the preset. I already baked the shadows of the curves in the face into it. So this should make it more realistic. What we're going to do here is I'm going to grab a mask and do the same thing and mask out this bottom area. Okay. And then what I'm going to do for here, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to image adjustments. I'm going to go to hue saturation, colorize. And I'm going to make this 30-30-30 or maybe 30-30-20. And then what I'm going to do is set this to multiply. And now we have a shadow bake that's not black, because that would be weird. Usually shadows aren't always black. Oops, I'm missing something. Oh, okay, yeah. The Earth Genasi, by the way, are using the eyes. I got the vanilla eyes, and I just made I upped AI'd the image so it looks like gemstones. So I think you'll like this. I think I previewed them once, but I'll show it again right now before we exit the this session. So that's how we create a shadow map between the face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten it down for a second and save it. All right. And then now that I've done that, what I'm going to come in here in Blender, and I'm going to reload that texture again, but now you're going to notice it's baked for these curves instead of the original one. So if I would come back in here and reselect the head, now we have our, see how it's much more, it's baked with the map for this face. So it looks a little different now. But if I want to make this intense, what I can do is I can go into this right here and go to image adjustments. And I tend to do this for some of my faces to get that more realistic nitty gritty, is I turn down this right here, the midtones. All right. Just a little bit, turn it up just a little bit like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and flatten that down again. Save that again. Come in here and refresh that texture. And now like that. So what I'm going to do now is I don't even have to resave this, because this is already, the game is already linked to that texture. So when I put that face back on, it's already using that updated texture. So that's it right there. You know, and so now what we want to do is we want to create like a charred effect. So to create a charred effect, we might have a face for that. So if I were to come into Daz 3D, I think it's Amon. Amon has that really, let me just go into the folder here. I think I know which one it is. So if I were to go to here, Daz 3D.
Amon's what we used for the orc, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was it? Was
yeah.
It?
Yes.
Okay,
which we could use it at a smaller percentage.
Let's see if we have something that we can use then. That's more like, yeah. Because we want, now we can go into Blender, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I have a material that's, what would replicate a burn like material for in Substance.
Okay,
so
most I can think of is the cracked dirt, but that would be more of the Earth Genasi than it would be the fire.
Yeah, so I'm looking at
because we had the dried dirt texture or whatever, and the tessellations.
Yeah, so see, that's why I like Amon, because look at his eyes and everything, like, but there's no one with the cracked face unless I get like something like a monster and use that. But I mean, other than that, what you can do is oh, you know what? I can make it like the orc, where it's just really, really rugged, and then maybe I think I have an idea. So if I were to open up, so right now it's using the human face. So let me apply the orc one and see what that looks like. To do that, all I gotta do is go to MDB cloner, MDB config. Yeah, let's do that. MDB config. Let's go ahead and open it up. File open. Rid of that. And hair helm. No. Okay, so let's go to Dad's face pack. And then we're gonna go to emergency elves and then the HFM. Oops. All right, so what we're gonna do here is go and change out the texture from dwarf to orc. Save. Click off the head and back on it. That's like that's not the right orc. That's actually the other orc. That's a little burnt though, right?
Yeah.
We don't want that one. We want the, I think it's called copy at the moment. I believe it's called copy. Let me do this. We have to rename that later.
Actually not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. But I think we can get rid of this extra scarring by I did this right. No, it's not called
Yeah.
copy. It's called I gotta find the file. 1 second. It's in my override. Dad's face. Work. Oh, it's not gonna load because it's not gonna load that name properly. I don't think because it has a dash and no spaces.
Mm.
I don't think it will. File save. If it does, that'd be a miracle. I don't know how it did that, but it did that apparently. So that's kind of like shard, and what I can do is, I mean, the other one does work. Maybe I can get some cracks, like a cracked skin, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? A Fire Genasi should. Hmm. So the eyes got a bit of a glow, no? A little bit.
A little bit.
So if we want to increase that glow, what we can do here while we have this open, let's go ahead and make this like spec like 30 and make this like 0.8. It's gonna be crazy. File, save. I don't know if you can see that well. Let me see. Maybe the spec is too high. This right here should be like maybe 20. Maybe 1. File, save. What do you think of that? I mean, normally the colors that it would give you or something like that, or like. I think the eyes help make it too. The thing is, I don't want to give it like that. That I'm sorry, I don't want to give it like that. The crack too much because then it looks ugly. They look ugly. I think some people want cute. I don't know.
No, I like that texture.
So should I use this one right here? I mean, it's the orc one, but it kind of is rugged. Or do you mean the one before this?
No, I like this one.
Yeah, I think we can settle on this one. And as far as it helps us save a texture map. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the uniqueness that comes from this face is the fact that it has this, but the hairs are in itself are going to be unique. And because it has this fire texture, but at the same time, the eyes I think make it unique. So you see how it has that glow.
Yeah.
So let me play with some options here. And let's put some eyebrows, right? They have eyebrows, right? Do they?
I would assume so. I mean, they do in all the illustrations in the book.
Okay. Yeah. Those are like fire eyebrows.
I don't know why I want it.
So if we do eyebrows, we're going to go ahead and attach those right now, actually. So to do that, and I don't know if we saved yet with these eyes like this. So we'll do that right now too. I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Import, OBJ, and we're going to import those eyebrows, which are on the vanilla file here, eyebrow F OBJ. And then we're going to kind of, what we're going to do is we're going to grab these and hit grab on the Y. Turn off this, grab on the Y. All right. And then we're going to kind of put these where we want them. Z, grab Y. And I'm going to put them like to the point where they're like that much. That's fine. And grab Z again, bring them up a little bit. And then I'm going to go into sculpt mode and go into symmetry X and grab the elastic deform. And I'm going to pull these out slowly. Now this is where you create the personality. I can turn off the X and give it like a, whatever I want to do, or keep it on. And then I can make it like a really straight eyebrow. I can make it like really low. I can make these sharp. Just come in here and pull it back out. Whatever I want to do. So this is where you get to shape the eyebrow. So not every eyebrow will look the same for all your characters. It's just, this is just like, I use this same one. So if I want to sharpen the inside a little bit like this, I can do that.
AFK a minute.
Okay. And then if I turn off, I can give a little bit of asymmetry. Maybe pull that one up a little bit. And then pull this one down in the little middle here. So it kind of has like an expression that goes with the smile. Maybe pull them out just a little bit. Or actually put that on X, pull it out just a little bit like that. I'm going to go to my UVs. And see how they're all set on the map here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and assign them. Well, I don't even have to do that. What I got to do is come over here, assign them to the head bone. And because they're already preset in this area, it makes it perfect because this map here already has a spot for it. Well, it's not showing now, but there's a spot for it right here already on the map, which is here. This is where the eyebrows go. So it's already preset, that texture. So what I'm going to do is come in here. All I got to do is join this with this and then come into the actual here and delete the old texture in there. So now see how it's all here? The UVs line up to what we have here, the eyebrows. It's already cut out the alpha channel. And so after we do that, if I were to export this character now, MDB, and just export it out, I gotta redo this setting again, but that's fine. That's an easy fix. 1 in 20. Let's see. Oh, there's an error. That's not good. Let's see what it is. I can probably find it beforehand. It might be. Oh, looks like they're not weighted. So I didn't assign it the hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select. I forgot to assign the weights for these. So I'm going to select just the eyebrows. I'm going to assign them to the head bone. So now they're red. I'm going to export that again. Let that export. Okay, then I'm going to go into the game, click off the head and back on it. And then now we have, ooh, those eyes look white.
I'm back.
So now we have eyebrows. But I'm going to go ahead and change that. Those eyes look really white. So I'm going to go to File. I'm going to reload this MDB. Go to eyes and make this 1 in 20 again. And maybe turn this down to like here. That'll take away some of that bright whiteness. And go to File, Save. Welcome back, by the way. There.
Thank you, darling.
Kind of brought it down some. And let's go to eyebrow color. And now we have, you know, I would recommend if you're going to make a Fire Genasi, stick to the lore of it and make it like a fire color. But yeah, so that's pretty much what we're working with right there. I think maybe turn the specular up to white and see what happens there. And maybe turn this up to like 15. File, save. Off, back on. Yeah, I like that. Of course, we don't have beards and stuff like that yet, but of course, if we do that, they'll get the fire texture. But I think that looks decent, you know?
Yeah.
So this is what we'll use the setting for all of them. And making the rest is really simple. All we got to do is import. You know, I know that initial process I made it look long, but it's actually once you got the first one in, the rest are easy to do. You know. Yeah. So what do you think? Looks good, right?
Yeah,
Right, so let's
like
do these ears real quick. Should we modify these ears, or leave these ones like this?
I
What do you
think
think?
these ones like this.
Okay. And then I think the request was for some pointy and some regular. So coming back to this one right here, while we have that open, since we know what that looks like, I'm going to go ahead and close that out. That's the end of this. That's our head. I'll come in. Let me screenshot it right now, actually, so I can post it later. Let's get it at a good angle. Yeah, so that's good. All right, so I'll save that for later. And then what we're gonna do here is I'm going to, which ones do we want to make sharp ears? Let's go ahead and load up the high res. Oops. Wait, some of these have sharp ears, don't they? Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's the only one with regular. Oh, these two have regular ears. So some of them have sharp ears. How does that work?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're a little. I would
too sharp, maybe point them a
not
little
have
bit.
them quite as pointy. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe round off the edges a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. I want to do tiefling, but I got to figure out the horn thing. And I need it. It's bugging me, you know. All right, so that's pretty much the process for what we're doing with the Genasi. See, I still do it. Genasi. So, that face, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we'll actually make different variations of it off camera. That way I don't have to show you every single one, but I think because we made some like maps and stuff like that for like air and for water. But you know what I really want to do now, and it just dawned to me like how much I want to do a small hair pack for the males, but for the Genasi only, because they have the cool hair. You know what I mean? Like that fire and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know
that
that
encourages people
that might
to
take like an extra day, but of the
yeah.
you know rollout time, because it takes about a day just to make the hairs. Really, it takes less than that. Like you've seen me make like a pack of 20 in like an hour. I think. I just don't want to burn out on it.
Yeah, I know.
And
no burnouts allowed.
So let me show. Well, I have you here, or whoever's watching or later. Let me show you something.
Show me.
Just vibe with me for a second. Let's go to.
Oh yeah, we're vibing.
We're vibing.
We're
All
using
right.
my word again.
All right. So let's go to override prep. I think is where I have it. And pack one. No, that's not it. Where are you at? Come out, wherever you are. No, that's all Baldur's Gate 3 stuff. I could have swore that Alpha Originals. Oh, that's BG Faces. I'm sorry, 1 second. I thought it was here. I had PDF'd the entire pack. Sorry, excuse me. Unless I deleted it. Did I delete it? Or did I put it under my Google Drive? I'm sorry, 1 second. Let's see. Let's see. Got something here. Hair pack. This might be it. No. No, okay. So here it is right here. Sheet 1. I think this is it. So sorry. Coffee. Cough. All right. So oh, please tell me it's some. Okay, so if I zoom in on this thing. Oh, that's not right. That's not it. Is it? No. So that actually is not the right one. Let's do this. Let's go. I don't really like using. So these are the hairs that we have been using. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the entirety. I'm just gonna go fast and just like it, and we probably stopped about right here. And there's that much more. Obviously, we can't fit all of these faces into the game. So
Hairs. Yeah.
Yeah, some of these I have to decide to do for males. Like that could be a male one, you know? And so I have to get the numbers out. And the thing is, I know like some of these hairs that we put in are requests from people. I think Momio, am I saying that right? I know it's off,
Yes.
but okay, Momio had requested some.
Mo.
I know Miss Click had had requested some. Tarina did. And a few others, but I think I might put this out again to do another round of requests and just say from this number down. So I think we stopped at like 200 and S200 something. So there's like 200 more hairs to go through. But I mean, look at this. That's some weird hair, right? But I mean, look at that.
You shorten that, and that can be like a Genasi hair, the wild crazy locks.
This one right here, yeah.
Well, no, that one there, yeah.
This one.
Sorry, your Twitch. We're real time voice. Your Twitch is delayed.
Right. Yeah, that's
throws
right.
me off.
So I should do. I wonder if I should like set it up on my Discord next time to do a screen share. Is that better? But you have to mute your Twitch, right? Because else you hit a double or something like that. I think. All right.
Right.
So the one with the branches and stuff like this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yes.
I'm so sorry. I didn't really register that until right now. I'm like, yeah, I'm like way ahead. I'm like, and
every time you ask me for a visual question, I was like, I gotta wait for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, I like that one.
So, but just like there's so much hairs. So I mean, I'm kind of going through slowly right here, but as you can see, there's a lot more to be added. And we just haven't done it yet. But there's some that can be tailored for men, you know.
Yes.
And some that can be, you know, tailored for like even elves, like certain races. I don't know, like it's just different types, you know. And as I'm going through here, I'm realizing there's some of them are really, really unique, which might be helpful because a lot of them start looking the same to me.
Yeah, a lot of them start looking the same.
Yeah, and it's good for like. Because that's good that some of them look the same, I told myself, because I'm like, sometimes people want to like, say they changed up their hairstyle, but they still have that look that is them, you know? And maybe they move their bangs to the side because there's one with the bangs to the side, one to the bangs to the front, left, right, up, down, you know? Or even if you have that much hair, who's to say you can't put it up? And now you have like really long hair, you know, and something like that. So, or really like a really long updo, you know, or I don't know if I'm doing the right, using the right terms there, but yeah, so there's a lot of hairs there. So I think we may I want to do at least one more hair pack, but for males, it's just I gotta go through, or maybe get the help of somebody to come to, not you know, I'm not saying this like Vanny. I'm saying like from the audience, like I can do what I did the first time. Say, like, hey guys, can you throw some numbers at me? And that's what they did. I remember when I first put it up, I got like messages right away, like this one. I'm like, all right,
boom, yeah.
Thank
people
you,
love the hair.
Yeah, you know, and it's helpful when people are like that, when they're like, I want this, and that. Now, it's different for outfits. That's a whole different ballgame because that takes a lot of time. These hairs go quick, but it also helps me because I don't do my hair like this. I don't know my hair is not long. You see that? I used to have long hair, but my hair is not long. So I don't know what's cute and what's not, because I think what girls consider cute and pretty, guys at the same time see it differently. Like how do I say this? Those like outfits that a girl wears, that's cute, and a guy's like, and it's just if okay, put it this way: if you let a guy dress up or do a girl's makeup, that shit is gonna look like it's gonna look weird, obviously, because guys, are not good at doing makeup. But I'm saying, am I making sense?
You're rambling, and I just think you're adorable, and gonna keep on letting you ramble.
No, I'm thinking like, okay, how do I say this?
No, the tastes are different. They are. They have.
So if if I were to put hairs in, I'm gonna put hairs in that I think look good, and girls are like, I would never do that to my hair. You know what I mean? And it's like kind of like the whole concept. If you let a guy in the game, Neverwinter, play a guy dress up a female, she's gonna look sexy as hell with all that skin showing. You know what I mean? But any girl's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna freeze my ass off wearing that. You know what I mean? It's the chainmail bikini thing. You know what I mean? The plate mail bikini. So I may put this out again, this PDF, this Excel file, and just see like what people want to put out there and everything. So, yeah. So some of these can work as mail, something like this, except that they all start looking the same again. But you know what? You kind of work with it, with what you got, I guess. I think what makes it female is if you put a lot of volume, but if you flatten it down, like male heads really have flat hair, they don't really have the volume. I think that's what makes it stand out. And of course, you can't do braids like this for males and stuff like that. So you have to find the ones that are just kind of like straight growing with no like flare or anything in them. But yeah. So that is pretty much, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and stop. We're going to stop now the stream so we can have I can actually get into some work done and more stuff. But at the same time, kind of, relax for a bit. It's Thursday. I work from home tomorrow. So that's good. I can sleep in just a little bit longer before I get up for work and all that stuff like that. So that's always good. But what I want to do is I want to figure out these tieflings, because I want to figure out how we're going to, maybe we'll put tieflings in with just one set of horns and just ask which ones are the best. Post all the horns and say, pick your best right now. And hopefully to be temporary, because when we were talking to AOS the other day, he said it's possible to activate the head bone. Now, if you don't know what bone that is, let me go ahead and show you right quick. So if I turn this off and just turn on the skeleton, these are all the bones in the rig right now in the game. There's even this little bone called Halo. So if I go to object edit mode, this bone is called AP Halo. AP means attachment point. So, when you go AFK, that's actually a VFX file with AFK,
right.
And it goes, boop,
Halo,
and it just shows right there. So when you put your earrings on, AP ear right, the earring is it's an image file like the AFK file with transparency, and it pops right there on the ear. That's what you got APs. So you have an AP, you have this right here. This is called attachment point shield. So when you clip the shield, it automatically attaches right there. So whatever this arm moves, no weights or anything, even if it has no weights, the shield will move with that attachment point, whatever you bind to it. So imagine over here, we have AP camera. That's when I guess it's like the camera, that first person camera. AP ear right. We have all these, and now this right here is different. That's a skeleton, but we have AP points that you can attach things to. And we just got to find the right AP points. AP horns. Forehead right there. Look at that. That's an attachment point. So if we can find a way, because the forehead will move with the head no matter what. There's no way a head moves and the forehead goes this way. So if we can activate that AP point, we can then attach a model to that, the horns. So when this head turns, when the head actually turns, the AP will turn with it, and the horns will turn with the head. Get it? So that's what I want to do. So I think I gotta talk to AOS more about that. But I know it's called AP forehead. It's not weighted, and it's something you have to activate within the app changer, and we can change out the horns. You can choose your horns, kind of like a jewelry box. Maybe only Tiefling can get them or activate it.
Yeah, Tiefling it will be a Tiefling only thing.
Yeah, and even then you can choose, I think, what races can activate stuff in. I don't know how that works for the jewelry box, but if it's like
they said
armor,
it can be scripted. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's like, because when you make armor shoulder pads, the shoulder pads are named A for armor or whatever, underscore, and then the race, and then the
Right.
slot kind of like heads. So if we make it only HT or HM, which is Tiefling, HTF, HTM, then only Tieflings will be able to see them. So if we make the horns called A underscore HTM, Tiefling male underscore horn, and the horn will attach only to the AP, this forehead right here, or forehead, underscore forehead 01, that'll be the first horn, 02 the second horn, and then that will attach to there. And if I understand correctly now, they have it set so this thing is persistent through resets, so it'll always be there, and the only ones to be able to activate them will be you Tiefling. So that's the hope. So I gotta talk to AOS about that. So I really want to get into these Tieflings because I love making Tieflings. Like, they're probably the funnest things for me to make are Tieflings. I'm trying to think what is the most boring thing for me to work on, honestly, is halflings. Because they're pretty much humans with egg
yeah, they're pretty much yeah.
But yeah, tieflings are fun because I like putting the beards on them, and I like experimenting with like the eyes and the horns and stuff like that.
And their cheekbones, and they got a lot of fun shapes to their faces, yeah.
And while I am here too, I know I said I was gonna go, you're like, dude, just end it already. Look at this. Where's the horn one at? Nope. I should not type horns. Horns. Tiefling horns. And those are all the originals. Let's go to the blend file. Collection, combined, complete. Let's see how this one looks. I forget which one it is, but yeesh. These are all the horns, right? And that's before I baked them. So let's go ahead and open up the other one. Let's do this one. Once it opens. All right, so these are horns and the antlers. I don't know how people feel about that. So there's different packs. That's the collection there. High poly. I have the high poly horns here. So this is high poly. This is what they're going to bake as. This is what they're going to look like when they're done in game. So we have horns here. We have more horns here. And I think a lot of these are already done. And I already unzipped these, unwrapped them, everything. I did all the work. But look at these horns. And so that now you can understand why I want to activate the head slot, because there's so many horns you can choose from, and that just adds so much customization to your character, you know? Short horns, little demon type horns, and you know, and so when I open up this third blend, I think these are the ones that are complete, or maybe it's not. Maybe there's another one down here. Tiefling horn one? No. Let's see. One of these works. Collection on head. There, that's the one I want. So this is the collection on head file. I have so much files. Is the one that this one right here. So these are the ones that are complete. So if I were to come over here and do texture object. Okay. And so imagine being able to select through whatever horns you want here. And there's different types, you know. And I turned them off. I saved them, and I just, all they are is F Hero 1 options. So if I were to come through here, and why are they all activated when they're all off? That's weird. Let me see. Why are they showing? Oh, because they all have their own skeleton. So if I were to go to, let me do this. And then I gotta turn it on. Okay. So if I were to come to the head here, see? And then if you have that attached to the AP head, when the head turns, that AP forehead will turn too, and this will turn with it, you know? And then, let's see, which ones am I viewing here? You know, different ones. I don't know why it's still doing that, but one of them is selected. Right? That's the one. So just different ones. Those little mini ones, you know, those little horns. And of course, I haven't got to the antlers yet for like, and other things. And I want to do stuff for like the fey creatures and stuff like that, the fey players. You know, but that's essentially it. Now these look simplified a little bit. They are lower poly than the high ones, but they have these aren't showing what the normal maps look like. The normal maps make them look so much better. So please activate that AP slot, or whoever can, if you happen to catch this stream by accident, because your algorithm's probably all messed up now because you streamed me once and now it's like you may like this, or he's doing another stream. You're like, God damn it. All right, so that being said, we are done. I'm going to go ahead and work on, I finished the orc ones yesterday that I started off with. I'm going to do elves again, but the elves, I don't have to do them on camera because I already showed you how to do them. So we'll start with something else. Maybe the beards next time, because I want to showcase the male beards. That takes a little bit of prep because those are kind of like, I want to say like 60% done. And so they do have some of them have different maps and stuff like that. So yeah. If you watch this later, thanks for watching. If you watched it now, appreciate it. Shadow, thanks for watching. And we'll go ahead and log off now. We achieved what we needed to achieve, put out some more information. And if you're bored and you're watching this, thanks for watching. All right, I'm going to sign off now. Let's go play the game. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.